And just a recommendation to all panelists and all attendees too, please turn your microphone off when you're not talking. This will avoid any noise, any background noise during the presentations. We will go through the event as smooth as possible. As you know, it is a pitching session, so we will go through the pitching from all the laboratories, and just before that, we will have a brief presentation from co-lead regions of Emilia-Romagna and Slovenia participants. So, I think we can start. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for participating in this first pitching session for the AI and HMI grid. It is the first public event for the AI and HMI initiative at all, and in particular for the AI and HMI grid. We wanted to have this as a public event in order to just let all laboratories know each other, and at the same time to present the activities to public and to potentially interested other laboratories and potential customers, of course. As a public event, and as we would like to have it to use it also to better explain the grid functionalities and the work we have already done, the event will be recorded, and the recordings will be available on the AI and HMI channels and the repository in order to use them for dissemination activities. So, thank you very much. We can start, and I will just give a brief introduction of myself. I am Domenico Guida. I'm working for ARTER, which is the innovation agency of Emilia-Romagna region, and with my colleague Francesco Paolo, which is also here, I've been coordinating the AI and HMI initiative activities and work for the last 2 years. And next to the co-leading region, which is Slovenia, here represented by Miha Glavan from the Josef Stefan Institute, and I will give him the floor in a while so that he can present himself at best. So, Miha, if you want to start, we can go.
Okay, thank you, Domenico. Welcome to everyone, also in my name. As Domenico mentioned, I'm a representative, just a moment, a representative of the Slovenian working group. I'm a researcher at Josef Stefan Institute, and I'm supporting the activities in this AI and HMI partnership. Together with Domenico, we'll present some basics about the AI and HMI partnership and also this lab idea to be developed. So I will start with the basic about our partnership. So some background about how this emerged. So the partnership is operating under the Smart Specialization thematic platform. There are actually 3 thematic platforms: agri-food, energy, and of course, industrial modernization, under which we also operate. So the broader aim of this industrial modernization platform is to establish different European ecosystems for transnational and also interregional collaboration. And such platform provides the regions the opportunity to connect on particular common topics they have and to better exploit the synergies among them. Of course, these synergies could be, for example, to complement each other's competences or to share some infrastructure or develop joint development or investment projects. And of course, to exploit the synergies of these different regional and also EU initiatives. All of these thematic areas are developed by the regions themselves, and also they have clear scope, and they are developed and led by the regions. Our AI and HMI thematic area is no exception. Here, it was established in May 2018 by initial set of regions, and as Domenico already mentioned, it is now co-led by Emilia-Romagna and Slovenia. if we move on, we can see that in the next slide that the partnership uh, this partnership under AI and HMI thematic area is currently consists of 10 different regions that are active. All of these regions share similar smart specialization strategy with priorities on artificial intelligence and manufacturing. Um, you can read them here on this presentation. I won't read them all, but I would just want to stress out that even after these 2.5 years of operation, the partnership is still evolving and expanding, and therefore we are all still actively looking and communicating with other regions that have similar or complementary smart specialization priorities. And you can see here down below that 4 more regions have already showed interest, but they haven't officially joined yet. If we move on, here it is shown the basic perimeter of AI and HMI. Probably as you all aware, digitalization and digital enabled technologies are rapidly changing and modernizing the world we live in. And the digital modernization is mostly driven by enhanced connectivity and also operability of different systems. And also adoption of digital enabled technologies plays an important role. And one common denominator to many of these enabling technologies is adoption of artificial intelligence. And it is expected that such smart and novel use of data and exploitation of this data will play even more important role in the future. So but even today, we have many different areas where the technology is mature enough to be and can be already successfully adopted by the companies within our region. And this very broad AI perimeter has been schematized into these 4 main domain areas of AI and HMI partnership. So here we have 4 different areas. First one is user experience data analytics. This one aims to analyze physiological and biomechanical data to improve workers' experience and also performance. The other one is user-centered design. This one is focusing on the evolution of machine and system design to leverage operator skills, both for increasing user safety and also efficiency of this man-machine interaction. The third one is about AI-enhanced cyber-physical automation. This one aims to introduce new functionalities into processes to exploit the synergies among the physical entities and also cyber functionalities that can be implemented to improve these processes. The last one is HMI evolution. This one is about transformation from functional interface to more intuitive and supportive operator assistance using novel technologies. Now we can move on and go to the next phase. So one of the first steps of our partnership was we performed kind of learn and connect phase. So to know each region and our competences, our strengths and needs. And with the support of the regional working groups within these regions, we performed kind of multi-regional brainstorming. So we went through through a collection of different discussion topics. And using this bottom-up process, we collected different ideas, needs, opportunities identified by regional industries, SMEs, RTOs, academia. And this approach highlighted some of the most common needs for progress within the industrial and social ecosystem of the regions. And in this way, this was the foundation to develop here shown value chain to be tackled within this our AI and HMI partnership. Okay, and then in the next slide, I will show you that we have identified that the lab structure could be the most appropriate and efficient way to exploit this AI paradigm in sense of multi-regional cooperation, and also to support different needs of the regional industrial enterprises, including SMEs. So this idea of lab grid will be further evolved and discussed by Domenico in his presentation. But here at this point, I would just like to point out the 5 main strategic orientations of these labs that were identified. As you can see, these classes of labs have been following the previously shown AI and HMI perimeter, but of course they were developed by our technical and scientific committee, where they considered also regional competences and expressed needs of the companies. So I will go quickly over these lab types. First lab type is called user lab. Its mission is to observe the human-machine cooperation, gather this data about this cooperation, and detect some physical and mental stress of the workers, and identify new opportunities to improve these human-machine working conditions. The second lab type is called Cobot Lab. This lab is dealing about to support SMEs to adopt a concept of collaborative robots, but we didn't want to focus only on the robots, so it was extended to also collaborative machines, workstation, etc. The third lab is it's called INDAT Lab. Here the focus is on inclusive and enhanced industrial data collection. Such lab could offer expertise in basic digitalization upgrade, covering improved sensor technologies, flexible data integration, data management, data curation, labeling. So all the steps needed to improve the quality of the gathered data and also to enhance its use in later stages. The fourth lab is called Control Lab. Here the main aspect is about how to usefully utilize the collected data to make some improvements. These solutions could deal about AI-enhanced machine controlling strategies, quality management, predictive maintenance, optimization, automation improvements, etc. And such kind of labs could provide SMEs some guidance and support to develop specific solutions and procedures and help them to implement them in their environment. The last lab is about HMI. It's called HMI Lab. This one is covering emerging technologies to realize more intuitive interaction with machines. And of course, probably the most prominent technologies here are augmented reality and virtual reality. With this, I would stop with this basic introduction, and I would invite Domenico to give you some more insight about the demo lab grid idea.
Yes, thank you, Mika. Thank you very much. And we will go through some details about the grid structure and the development of demo labs. So, as already introduced by Mika, it is the main element of the AI and HMI initiative work. It is to stop the AI and HMI grid made by the 5 demo lab typology you identified before. So, the first question is why a lab grid? We thought it is because AI is an enabling technology, and it is quite transversal to all industrial and also non-industrial application, as all of us already know. So it is needed to have a very flexible structure, able to provide a support in several sectors, in several industrial sectors, but also able to look at outside the industrial environment. So we just thought it is useful to have a dynamic structure such a lab can be. Next, there is the idea that a lab should be already able to interface with different industrial enterprises and SMEs, and to clearly identify and address their needs to find solutions for their specific problems, but at the same time should be able to explain and understand before the customer, if it's needed, what kind of problems can be solved with what kind of solutions. So looking forward, we can see that and the lab idea is needed in terms of flexibility and in terms of ability to interface with the users already. And for what concerns the grid structure, there is it's been selected because of the need to enable cooperation between different laboratories which are already center of excellence or on the edge innovation laboratories in their fields, but with a cooperation between them that can just complement their service portfolios and reach out to other customers, to other regions. So the idea is a grid structure will help laboratories working on a wider set of possibility of customers and providing a larger service portfolio, and at the same time share know-how, competencies, and facilities if needed. So the grid will allow this kind of cooperation. For what concerns the setup itself, let's just look at what kind of process is being carried on. And first, looking at who can join the AI and HMI grid. The AI and HMI grid is participated by laboratories just applying with voluntary applications. And the first need from laboratories that can be eligible to apply for the participation in the AI and HMI grid is the fact to be already working, so already existing and already able to provide services, or at least next to start. So being in an ongoing process of setup for the lab and with a clear idea of the kind of services and the kind of customers that they will have. On a second point, for the kind of laboratories able to join, there is no a clear statement. Let me say it is not restricted to a specific kind of legal entity, for example, but we are just looking for different kind of entities, public, private, PPP. The real need is that they must be working in AI-related domains for industrial target innovation. The legal structure at this point is not something that we will investigate better. We will investigate it during the process of setup, but it is not needed to be public or private or one of them. Both are good options. The second point on the setup of the grid is how the setup happens. So our laboratories can join the grid. They are asked to compile a technical questionnaire and to sign an expression of interest to join the grid. But the questionnaire is just a technical side, and it is needed for us to better understand the kind of laboratories that are joining, and the information provided will be used for the next setup phase of the AI and HMI grid. So as an example of the innovation of the information they have to provide, it is the preferred working domain inside the demo labs grid. So they have to identify their interest in the 5 demo labs Mika already presented a few minutes ago. Of course, they are not. It is not needed to identify a single demo lab, but they can just spread their interest in a number of demo labs. But we need to know what kind of interest they are expressing inside the grid. So to position them inside the value chain of the AI-HMI grid. Then there is the need to identify inside the questionnaire the attitude and interest to be part of an interregional grid and to serve customers. So a good point is for labs already serving customers and providing services for innovation, but also labs aiming at providing services in the next period are welcome inside the grid. So this is an example of the information we ask in the questionnaire, but we always highlight that not a single field of the questionnaire is mandatory, let me say, but there is a kind request to provide all the information needed, all the information that can be provided. This just helps us in the setup of the grid. For what concerns the structure, the AI-HMI grid will be is imagined drafted as follows. The 5 demo laboratories will just be part of a grid, and they will cooperate with some cooperation guidelines that are being drafted in this period and are being finalized in this period. And as you can see, all the a single demo lab can be participated by different applicant labs who already signed the expression of interest or who are interested to join. And at the same time, the single applicant lab can be part of one or more demo labs, as I said before, just expressing the interest to be part of one or more. In the frame of the AI-HMI partnership, all the applicant labs will cooperate to set up the grid and will cooperate to realize the demo labs inside the grid. Customers, so SMEs or industrial customers, will just reach the grid as a whole by different ways. First one is just contacting the AI-HMI partnership and asking for information about the grid, or as a second task, they can just reach out to a single applicant lab, which is probably the next door innovation laboratories in their own region, and through the applicant lab access to the services provided by the demo labs and by the grid as a whole. So it is a grid that allows for exchange of opportunities both for laboratories and for customers. The process of the collection of expression of interest has been ongoing since now. We have collected, as we will look forward, 25 expressions of interest, and they are widely covering the 5 demo lab typologies. And as you can see, it is of course not homogeneous, the interest in the 5 areas, but we are fostering the collection of expression of interest from laboratories interested in the less represented laboratories, such as, for example, the user lab. So open call if someone is hearing some laboratory, if a laboratory hearing is interested in joining in this specific area, more than welcome. Also on the other, of course, but the first one is the less represented one here, and we are working to populate it. Just a few numbers. Right now we have collected 25 laboratories expressions of interest from 13 different European regions. So we have already a good coverage of the European scenario. Also, in this case, we are strongly working to cover some labs represented areas. Just look at added value so that we can go through the lab pitches as soon as possible. As I said, for labs, the added value will be complement their service portfolio, reach out to customers through an interregional network, and the opportunity to share know-how, facilities, and best practices, and services already provided, examples, and so on. And all this in the frame of a highly specialized network of on-the-edge laboratories, innovation laboratories through Europe. For customer SMEs, the added value will be, as I said before, the first added value will be access to services offered by an interregional network of such specialized innovation laboratories in AI field, and access these services through the next door laboratory. So through the innovation laboratory, they have already had interaction before. So this was an introduction of the grid itself, and as I mentioned, the main elements, the most important elements of the grid are the applicant labs, so the laboratories signing the expression of interest. And now we will go through pitch presentations of these laboratories. They will have about 6 minutes each to present their laboratories with a brief description, some hints on vision and mission of each lab, and on their expectations by joining the AI and HMI grid. So the speakers have received an order to take the floor, and I hope the first one is ready to join. We have sorry for this. Just stop sharing so that the first speaker can share its screen.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, just check the order. So the first one will be, yeah, it is. This is the WCM Field Lab Campione, so Paul van Kempen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, because my video somehow doesn't work, but let me try to share the screen with you. Start my video. Now it is working now, I think. Let me see. Is this visible? Field Lab Campione?
Yes, we can see the presentation.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So my name is Paul van Kempen. I'm the operational director of world-class maintenance. And the lab I would like to present is Field Lab Campione, which is actually the first field lab, smart industry field lab of the Netherlands. A few words about world-class maintenance. So we're not a research institute, but we are the branch organization for professional maintenance in the Netherlands. And we also have a foundation for our open innovation projects. And with these projects, we try to work on the ambition, which is in our name, to make our partners world champions in maintenance, in brief. So Field Lab Campione was the first smart industry field lab in the Netherlands. And what is called Industry 4.0, maybe in your country, is called smart industry in our country. And what we did is we connected that central field lab, and I have some pictures later on, but you see some impressions here. We connected that with living labs, which are pilot environments in industry. And with this infrastructure, we were able to accelerate innovations towards valuable applications and business cases, at least at pilot level, I would say, connected to the ambition to come to zero downtime for the process industry. So our initial focus was on companies like Dow Chemical, DSM, Tata Steel, Fujifilm, based in the Netherlands. Well, the lab is managed and owned by World Class Maintenance. And we have a lot of projects connected to the infrastructure where we involve large companies, SMEs, schools, knowledge institutes, universities. And the basic functions are, well, accelerating the innovations. It's around education, simulations as well. And the infrastructure is also used by companies to demonstrate their latest technologies. The whole initiative was started with EFRO subsidy, which is from Europe, and also some support of the municipalities of Tilburg and Gilsrij in the south of the Netherlands, because the lab, it's a little bit small here, but it's based in the south of the Netherlands, between, well, in the middle of the triangle, I would say, of Antwerp in Belgium, Rotterdam and Eindhoven, across the airbase in Gilsrij. And here you see some picture of the opening of the whole initiative by our Minister of Economic Affairs, because we were the first smart industry project. And here is almost a year later, the opening of the central facility. Interesting to know maybe is that based on the blueprint of Campione, we started a lot of other field lab initiatives for other sectors. So Campione was for the process industry, Camino, for example, is for the infrastructure sector, Smash for the maritime sector. So we have a lot where there is a special one, Samen, focusing not on the technology, but on the business models. And we have one which is called Smart Maintenance Skills Lab, which is more focusing on the human capital agenda. Well, vision and mission, as I said, for world-class maintenance, we want to make a contribution to world-class assets. So becoming world champions in maintenance, but maintenance is not the goal as such. We want to make a contribution to assets of world class. And for Campione, it is rather a radical goal which we have set, which is 100% predictive maintenance for this process on industry, or the other way around is towards zero downtime. And we try to achieve that by using the smart industry techniques and methodologies, which can be in the AI domain, also virtual and augmented reality. We have a separate lab for that. And in the end, of course, we try to stimulate the economy. And we see that if we do that properly with 100% predictive maintenance, we also work on sustainability and safety in the industry. The service we provide, well, can be split up, I think, in 3 sections. As I said, we started off with the main goal to accelerate innovations that can make a contribution to this predictive maintenance. So far, we have, well, supported a lot of innovations. We facilitated the establishment of new partnerships between companies, large, big ones, small ones, and also knowledge institutes. We also did a lot of experiments in the central field lab, and also a lot of pilots, as I said, in the living labs. So in the industrial environments, and it resulted in 2 startups so far. Of course, these technologies are nice coming from these innovation projects, but of course we have to ensure that there are also people that can work with these innovations. So that's why we have this skills development as well connected to Campione. So I'm pleased that we have a lot of schools, universities, and knowledge institutes connected to Campione, and they were working on development of smart maintenance curriculum, and also validating that with the companies we have now a project. We also provided the cyber security course. We've connected our training program for young professionals of world-class maintenance to this infrastructure. And in general, companies are using the infrastructure to train their professionals, for example, service professionals in the field. Then, of course, we did a lot of work on knowledge dissemination. So we had a lot of visits so far, also from SMEs, students, internationally as well, and we provided a lot of workshops and conferences. And up till now, so from October 2015 up till now, I think the overall project volume has been, well, more than 15 millions, which is a public-private partnership program. And I know that, well, following the Campione activities, of course, there is the commercial world, but I think the same amount already has been spent by companies in the commercial domain. But that, of course, is out of the scope of our project. But of course, is what we are hoping for. And here at the top or at the bottom, you will see the, let's say, original participants that started off the project. And meanwhile, we have around 40 active companies in the program. Yeah, with respect to expectations of this well, European initiative, so far we have been focusing on the Netherlands. So we are relatively unexperienced in the European context. But I can imagine that from this network, we could attract customers or partners from the EU, which could be interesting. I think it would also be interesting to guide our members and partners towards other field labs, initiatives, hotspots, and partners, which might result in interesting projects. And when we look at our added value to the grid, well, we have a clear focus on maintenance, which is for the industry side, but of course the other way around is our services, for example, for OEM. So we have a clear focus on that, quite some knowledge and experience in that domain, and meanwhile also a lot of experience with the field lab approach. And I must say that the field lab approach is quite interesting because it really results in accelerating ideas towards actual business cases. So it would be interesting to bring that in also in the European context. And I hope, Domenico, that within these 6 minutes you
yes,
you gave us.
Thank you very much, Paul. Thank you. And I remember that we will have a question and answer session, so all the questions can be directly addressed to the panelists through the Q&A tool of from Zoom, so that we can just collect them and go through the answers in the question and answer section. So now is the turn of AI Lab NRW. So I think Nicole will present it. Yeah, perfect. We cannot hear you, Nicole, if you're talking. We can see the screen, but not hear you.
Now I...
Yes, now yes.
Hope you can hear me. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
The floor is yours.
Thanks. I'm Nicole Langrock, the Managing Director of the competence platform KI NRW. It's the competence platform from North Rhine-Westphalia, initiated by the Ministry of Digitalization, Innovation, and Energy. And I'm happy to be able to present you our AI lab for North Rhine-Westphalia, which we are developing within this competence platform KI NRW. KI NRW is located at the Fraunhofer IAIS in St. Augustine. That's located right next to our ex-capital, Bonn, or Cologne, you might know better. And we are trying to be the single or the first point of contact for all SMEs, political institutions, or research institutions which are interested in artificial intelligence, and we hope to match the right partner and the right topics, and so thus to foster the application of artificial intelligence in North Rhine-Westphalia. And with our AI lab, okay, now it's working. So the AI lab also will be funded by the Ministry of Economy, Innovation, Digitalization and Energy of North Rhine-Westphalia. It will be established and operated by KI NRW and Fraunhofer IAIS. And we are closely working together with AI4EU. I guess you might know this project. They are establishing an AI on-demand platform on a European level, and to reduce the barriers to innovation. And within this project, they develop an open source standard, Acumos, which we also will use for the KI NRW AI lab. So our vision is a federation of European AI labs based on the open source framework Acumos. We're one of those more user-centered labs. And thus our mission will be to enable users to build AI solutions in an intuitive way while encouraging the AI developers to share their AI models. And I will give you a short example and a short picture of how our AI lab is working. It's a visual editor, it's a virtual lab. So you can intuitively add the pre-trained AI models to an AI pipeline and then test this pipeline with your own data, for example. So it's intuitive, as you can work via drag and drop. And in fact, there are no limitations for any terms of users as it is virtual. So our customers will be, on the one hand, the providers of AI models, pre-trained AI models. And on the other hand, we got the users, which are small and medium-sized enterprises with mainly no internal AI competence. So they have a more facilitated entry point for all these AI models. So our expectations is, I already mentioned, it's the interregional exchange of AI models and also the knowledge about this AI models and cooperations in the support of AI users and in the development of human-centered AI, as this topic is also highly, a very important issue for KI-NRW. And yeah, we would like to add some value on the one hand, to virtual, in the virtual access to AI resources and for companies an additional sales channel. And on the other hand, the enlargement of the AI catalog, which we are building in this AI lab through AI models from international providers. So yeah, in one sentence, the AI lab is an AI catalog and an experimental platform based on the open source framework Acumos. Yeah, thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Nico. They're very interesting. And yes, I think we can go to the next presenter, Matthias Micheli from CRC, Collaborative Robots Center. Perfect.
Okay, good
Thank
morning. I hope that you hear me.
Yes, perfectly.
Yeah. Okay, thanks a lot. Good morning, everybody. My name is Matthias Michel. I'm a professor of robotics at the Laboratory of Robotics and Collaborative Robotics Center. Actually, I'm presenting on behalf of my colleague, Dr. Sebastian Schleipach, who has currently other faculty obligations, but otherwise he's coordinating these activities in relation to AI and HMA lab. Basically, just a few words about the Laboratory of Robotics and the Collaborative Robotics Center. We are basically an academic lab, so situated within the University of Ljubljana, the Faculty of Electrical Engineering, but there is a strong basically interaction with industrial partners, and as you'll see later on, especially in the HMI lab, where you will see a kind of public-private partnership. So basically, we are situated in Slovenia, in Ljubljana, and of course, we have strong connections within the Slovenia and also abroad. Our main focus is in general robotics. So basically, our main mission is actually an excellence in the field of human and robot interaction. So what we do is basic and applied research in robotics, collaborative robotics, and human-robot interaction. Actually, also we do industrial and construction robotics. Here on the right side, you see a construction crane, which is a result of one of our projects. We also do robot-based additive manufacturing again. So basically, it is additive manufacturing, but it's robot-based. And as you will see later on, we also do HMI. So basically VR, augmented reality and mixed reality applications. And of course, our interest is international cooperation and technology transfer. So this is a kind of general overview of the lab activities. But if we focus more on the activities of the Cobotic Lab, so Collaborative Robotics Laboratory, what we want to do is basically to enable robots and humans to somehow coexist and collaborate. And our mission is to provide a kind of sustainable ecosystem of different robotic stakeholders. So basically, we want to exploit this technology and use this technology in industrial applications, especially related to Industry 4.0. So, and here we want to do a complete solution. So not only robots, but complete robotic cells with all the safety and everything that is related to that. So this is our mission, at least in terms of collaborative robotics. We provide different services. So I basically divided our activities in 3 labs. The first one is related more to Cobot Lab, and this is of course related to collaborative robotics. Here we have different activities that we perform. Academy, where we organize different workshop seminars and of course trainings for industrial partners, for academic partners, research partners. Then we do feasibility studies in the field of collaborative robotics. Of course, our main focus is the development of applications in this area, and of course, using of this application in industrial environment. Of course, in relation to the development, one important aspect is the safety. And you will see this also in the terms in relation to the user lab later on. The safety itself is not only physical safety, it is also related to so-called psychological safety. And we are doing research in that area. And of course, we do consulting. So basically, we consult companies how to use collaborative robots. So this is mainly the research that we do within the laboratory, but we have a strong link to another laboratory, which is actually a privately funded laboratory situated within the faculty. So basically it has premises within our faculty, and this laboratory is more related to HMI. So basically they do virtual reality, mixed reality, augmented reality. And here the focus is again on developing solutions for industrial partners, because also the laboratory was funded by industrial partners, as you see here below. So this is a privately funded laboratory, but within the Faculty of Electrical Engineering and with strong relations to our laboratory, where we develop different solutions of XR solution, testing of software and hardware, integration, consulting, of course, feasibility studies. But at the end, what we want is also to educate the end user, and educate the industrial partners so that they will be able to develop these technologies by themselves. So they will not need to come to us to develop the solutions for them, but we want to educate them, and they will be able to use all these XR technologies in industrial applications. We have seen a lot of these applications in industry recently, and of course this was the interest coming from the industrial partners. And the user lab, actually when we submitted this expression of interest, we did not indicate this user lab because the person that was compiling that missed a little bit that part. But we do a lot of research in terms of this human-robot interaction in relation to safety, and not only the safety in terms of physical safety, but so-called perceived safety, where we want the user to feel comfortable. And what we want to design at the end is actually what we call a perceived safety toolkit that would allow us to assess this safety level between the user and the robot during these interactions. We have a lot of partners coming from different areas: automotive, pharmacy, retail, construction, and so on. And of course, we develop different types of applications for manufacturing, assembly, packaging, quality control, logistics. And here you see some partners that we are collaborating with. What are our expectations? Of course, we want to expand our network of partners, R&D partners, but also end users, so basically industrial partners. In terms of Cobot Lab, of course, synergistic collaboration with complementary laboratories where we can develop jointly new, more advanced applications, also based on AI. Within the HMI lab, of course, augment our experience, competencies in XR-based HMI technologies, again, also augmented with AI. And in terms of user lab, this is more research. Here it would be nice to have some collaboration in this research where we address the physical and psychological safety of human-robot or human-machine in general interactions. This is it from my side. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Very interesting presentation. and just in time. So perfect. We can go to the next one, which is Ivan Cordomerano for Data AI.
Yeah, can you hear me? Yes.
Yes, Ivan.
Wait, I'm gonna share my screen. Oh. Okay, can you see my screen? Yes.
Yes, can you just put it in presentation mode?
Yes, it is in presentation mode.
Well,
we can't see it.
No,
Wait
we
a
see
second.
the technical screen, yes.
I think it's going to be.
Well, otherwise, unless you have videos or animations inside the presentation, you can just keep going on and go on in this way. Okay, we lost your screen now. If you can just try to reshare it. Ivan? If you prefer, you can just send me the presentation and I will share it for you and we can just go on with the next one. It's not a problem.
No, I think it's fine. I just got a problem with my internet. Sorry. Can you see my screen now? It's okay?
Yes, we can see it. Okay, perfect.
Sorry, I'm really apologize. I do apologize, but the network here is horrible.
No, don't worry.
My name is Ivan Cordon Merano, and I'm part of the Institute of Data Science and Artificial Intelligence from the University of Navarra in Spain. So basically, who we are. So we are a research, innovation, and education center that it's held at the University of Navarra in Spain. Hello? Yeah. So Navarra is basically a region that is located here down in the north of Spain. You can see this small screen. We were born as a transversal center that supports best of class data science across the university and its research centers. And as I mentioned, we're located in Spain, in Pamplona. So in the region that we exist and the university itself, we didn't have an institution that was promoting the development of AI and also data science. And that's the reason we were born this year, basically. Our mission, Data is a research, innovation, and training center seeking to collaborate with both the university and other institutions and companies. We have focused not only with the internal university, because we support different faculties and research centers, I will speak later on, but also to develop the ecosystem of artificial intelligence within our region by supporting the SMEs that exist here. We have different, Navarra is a quite industrial area with different companies that we aim to work with. Our vision is, as I mentioned, support in research, and as well as help companies to innovate. And of course, we do believe that there's important mission on knowledge transfer and how we can apply the research we do to the industry, because otherwise it just gets lost on AI. We do believe in the practical apply of AI. And there is, of course, a strong involvement in the training of the researchers, students, and different professionals. We have different values, but we are mainly focused on the inspiring values of the University of Navarra that support the Institute aiming a rigorous and ethical use of AI and data science tools. So this slide basically shows how we see our role in in society and within the region. From one side, we have the research that we perform throughout our 50 different members that we have in different disciplines. We have disciplines that range from advanced analytics to biology or computational biology. We have also a strong arm that works in medicine and everything that has to do with bio signals and its processing. We also have a part that works in economics and economy, and we also have another one that is based in advanced analytics. The education that we used and we help by hosting PhDs and industrial PhDs. Those are projects that companies that want to do or perform research within the university scope. We can define the project and then they come and they work with us and we help them to develop their research throughout the facilities of the university and our support. And then companies with which we have different sort of arrangements and collaboration agreements that I will comment now on. So the services provided, we were born 1 year ago, so we are quite young, we are still expanding, but basically we have a master in big data science with 2 groups of 25 and 31 students each. Industrial PhDs, currently we have 7 candidates. This year we are providing support to different companies in the analysis of 45 AI use cases reviews for companies. What we do in this case is to make sure that the way companies are using AI and they are applying AI and anything that is involved in the projects that they use AI is correctly done under the standards of the best of class artificial intelligence. We also are helping SMEs in the region to innovate and integrate artificial intelligence in the pipeline. And finally, we have another arm that is based on data science projects and research that is more attached to the university with different faculties and research centers that come to ask us for help in different sorts of projects. So customers, we have mainly 3 different types of customers. One are the research centers and the departments at the University of Navarra. Currently, we are supporting the adoption of data science and AI projects within 3 different research centers. One is the Center for Biomedical Research. We have also 1 hospital. We have a center that is more based on industry and robotics, and another center that is more focused on humanities research. And 6 faculties that range from science to economy, psychology, and communication, and well, basically all of the faculties we have at the university. As students, we offer different courses at different levels. Our biggest course is the masters that we are hosting, but we also offer training for the region where companies can come for small different courses to level up their skills in data science and artificial intelligence. And finally, we work also with companies. We have a strategic partnership with BBVA, which is the biggest bank in Spain, where we are currently helping them with the digital transformation and leading part of the artificial intelligence projects and helping them to do the best-in-class AI possible. And we also have international collaborations with companies in Latin America and USA, and of course, collaborations with different regional companies. So our expectations about the grid, we aim to contribute in the adoption of data science and artificial intelligence throughout the network, helping Europe to develop the use of AI. We currently are lacking of European partnerships, and we see that this network can be a perfect place to develop collaborations. From our side, the value that the network is going to add to us is quite clear. We have a strong network to collaborate with partners and to share experiences and best practices and potential joint efforts to working together projects. And finally, what we can offer is our experience, of course, collaboration and reputation of a multidisciplinary center. I think that what makes us a bit different from other types of centers is that we kind of join different disciplines together, and that gives us a good holistic view of the problems in a different way, as if we were specialized just in one subject. Okay,
thank you.
That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ivan. Thank you very much. Really interesting, this one too. And we can go to the next one. Christian Borgert from IDA Lab Salzburg.
Okay. I currently can't share because there's somebody
Sorry,
else still sharing.
Can you, yes.
Yeah, let me just.
I'm having problems, so just kick me off the sharing thing, please.
Just try.
Yeah, thank you.
Now we'll stop, and Christian, you can go.
Perfect. Okay, so welcome. My name is Christian Borgelt. I'm a professor for data science at the Paris-Lodron University of Salzburg, and I'm presenting the Lab for Intelligent Data Analytics Salzburg, of which I'm a vice director. Yeah, a bit about the IDA Lab. It is meant as a competence center for basic and applied research. With a focus on applied research, and even the basic research is meant to be inspired by applications so that we can also do knowledge and technology transfer into companies, mainly in the areas of data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and statistics. Our cooperation partners are first the region of Salzburg, which financially supports the center in the framework of the WIS 2025 program. It was established in March 2020 with the hiring of first personnel and consists of 4 institutions: the Paris-Lodron University of Salzburg, where I'm a professor and which is the project leader of the IDA Lab. Then we have the Paracelsus Medical University, also located in Salzburg, the Salzburg Research Association, and the University of Applied Sciences in Salzburg. Our philosophy is that we want to cooperate with companies and industries in the fields of data science, statistics, machine learning, artificial intelligence, everything that is in this area and might be useful to companies to exploit their data and improve their processes. We are also cooperating specifically with the master course of data science at the Paris-Lodron University of Salzburg, which was established in 2016 and was the first such course in Austria. We are specifically not a consulting company without research orientation, so we want to focus on research, certainly on applied research, so that the application drives the research, also basic research, but we are not doing pure research without any application focus. We're interested in long-term partnerships with companies and other research institutions, and particularly in fascinating and challenging problems driving the research. As I said, not just consulting where we are implementing something or applying known techniques. What we want to do is development of tailored solutions to the problems that the companies are experiencing. The benefits that we expect for the companies are state-of-the-art research oriented at cutting-edge applications, which we can then provide in the mentioned areas. The companies obtain through us a sustainable cooperation with universities and research institutions, and especially through the Master of Data Science, they get direct access to excellently educated students and alumni, which we get into internships, possibly get cooperations through master thesis and something like that, which we're already doing at the University of Salzburg and will intensify through the IDA Lab. The companies can, through us, detach from relatively expensive international consulting companies, which they might have been hiring up to now, which of course provide good service, but also at a price that is usually quite high. And we hope to be able to provide possibly better, higher qualified local resources in this area at a competitive price for the companies. At the beginning of our funding period, we are even providing free training for companies in the form of workshops. So to get them started into this still relatively new and for applications not fully exploited area of artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science, and everything that has to do with that. So to get companies started in that area, we are training them a bit and hope through that get into the joint acquisition of third-party funding, which might be the WIS 2025 program, which is from the region of Salzburg, FFG, which is the state of Austria, and of course, European Union funding, possibly through this network. Our structure is that we have several sub-teams or individual smaller work groups or labs. First is Smart Analytics, which deals with data science and statistics and focus on decision support, feature selection, and machine learning. Second lab, second team is Reinforcement Learning and Analytics, where also machine learning and artificial intelligence are at the focus. Statistics is always in the background, but here control theory comes in order to do process and decision optimization, learning from feedback from a system that is influenced through an agent and provide some reward for the learning capability. Then we have space and mobility in the area of geoinformatics, spatial potential analysis and network analysis are carried out here. And we are focusing on digitalized and networked mobility in the context, especially of nature and health. Austria is a tourist region which can possibly profit from the digitalization of such services. We also have dependence modeling, analysis and estimation of dependencies of different quantities, especially with the mathematical tool of copulas, which then can also be used to do feature selection, namely of those variables that show high dependence to some target. Then for these teams are mainly connected to the Paris-Lausanne University. Other teams are then connected to the Paracelsus Medical University, the Salzburg Research Association, and the University of Applied Sciences, Salzburg, which are biostatistics and big medical data. Obviously, the medical university, where we are applying statistics and data science for preclinical study design and things like that. Communication technologies, that's Salzburg Research, where communication systems, network measurements are explored, sensor networks in particular, and how to get data from sensors into a system so that they can be properly stored and analyzed. And finally, data science for digital transformation, the availability and effective application of artificial intelligence, and data science for small and medium-sized enterprises. Here, the focus is a small data challenge. We want to do natural language processing and industrial production and control systems so that from little data we can already derive feasible solutions. Management, brief words about that. The director of the center of the IDA lab is Wolfgang Trutschnig, who's a professor for statistics at the University of Salzburg. Myself and Roland Quitt are vice directors. We are all focusing on data science. Wolfgang Trutschnig comes from the area of statistics. I'm more from computer science, especially pattern mining and cluster and classification. Roland Quitt does mainly machine learning. Then we have Ulrike Ruprecht as the lab manager, who is also attending this meeting, and as a strong supporter who is, unofficially, let's say, associated with the IDA lab, Arne Bartke, who is the Dean of the School of Natural Sciences at the Paris-Lausanne University Salzburg and is the most active supporter. He also comes from the area of statistics and was the founder of the master course of data science at the university. This master course is one of the main cooperations by which we get access to students, which we then get into companies through internships and master theses. We hope that with this smart specialization platform, especially this network, artificial and human machine interaction, which we are meeting here, that we get access to European funding and can exchange knowledge and collaborate with other research institutions throughout Europe. We also have already some strong collaborations with companies, namely Porsche Informatics in Salzburg, the Austria Metal AG in Ranshofen, and have already several cooperations in preparation where we had contacts and meetings, namely with the Liebherr, known manufacturer of cranes, also Palfinger, who does similar things, but usually with which are built onto vehicles like trucks. and many other companies that we are in contact with and hope to get into projects with. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Christian. Very good. And we can go on with the next one, which is Heiko Mateis from KI Escape Room.
Yes, hello. I just try to share my presentation. Just 1 second.
Yeah.
And there it is, hopefully. Okay, I hope you can all see the presentation.
Yes, it works. Go. You can go.
Okay. Then I think we are a bit special lab, a kind of lab, because it's not a real lab which is mentioned for a customer to come and try things out. Of course, we can do that, but our main focus is with this lab, which is a publicly owned structure, because we are a research institution, and we have done this with the cooperation with another research institution and the public funded competence center for digitization, which is called Mittelstand 4.0 Kompetenzzentrum Textil vernetzt, which is mainly focusing on textile industry. Our lab is focused is situated in Baden-Württemberg, and there especially in Denkendorf, which is near Stuttgart. And our main focus is, and mission is, that we have built up an AI escape room. So it's just a normal escape game, exit game, which we set up with AI technologies, which we use to train and demonstrate the principles of AIs in industrial applications. So we focus on data science and data preparation, which has to be done before of AI applications. And then we have a complete 1 hour game situation prepared for the industry, for interesting person who like to have 1 hour fun in our lab. And what we plan to do with this is, or what we do with this is to reduce the reservations and the fears of which is combined to AI applications. So just to kind of lower the barriers, the entrance barriers for mainly SMEs, that they try to get interested in AI, and then try to think about which possibilities they would have within their own companies. And that is the main mission, is that we are focusing on demonstration and training of AI technologies. With the second step, then we offer some kind of consultancy services for training and demonstration, and of course application and set up AI solutions for industry focused problems, which could be some kind of process optimization, clustering of errors for the quality for sorry, for quality purposes, or for condition monitoring and so on. Of course, because it's a playful area which we offer to the industry, we have can offer team building events with up to 100 visitors per year. So in small groups, from 5 to 7 people, which we can invite in our lab at once, and then play with them the 1 hour on AI applications. Of course, we have some kind of YouTube teaser video prepared, which you see in the link below. It takes just a bit more than 2 minutes, but it's in German, because it was resulting from a German public funded project. And with our consulting activities, we focus on 10 to 15 smaller projects per year, with mainly SMEs, not only focused in textile industry. Just we offer this accompanying to this play or this game event. The customers mainly textiles industry, but we are often open for several other branches. So we are not focused on textiles because it's just historically based. Because the lab is based on the DITF, which is Europe's largest textile research center, and it covers the complete textile value chain. The customers this year, which we started in the beginning of 2020 with the lab, when we have finished the complete game situation and the playground, was unfortunately mainly dominated by the COVID-related issues that we only have a few visits. So it's not only maybe it's a quarter of these of these 100. We have maybe 25 to 30 people which visited us this year, but we are hoping that next year would be a better year for our lab, and with much more visits in the lab. The expectations for our expectations would be that we should get the knowledge or information to improve the HME of our lab games, so that we can improve the fun which we offer to the companies and the players. Of course, we are every time open for extending the lab with new games. So if we are getting input on that, we're very glad to get that. And of course, we want to extending our network on SMEs and on AI-related companies and other industry sectors. Our added value for our service portfolio would be to just get the information on a lot of more use cases. On one hand, to improve the lab, and on the second hand, to improve the accompanying consulting consultancy service. Because the main thing that we learned is that the companies, especially SMEs, learn best from use cases from other companies. And our added value for the grid would be that our KI escape room, or the AI escape room, was set up to foster demonstration and deployment of AI technologies to SMEs. So we think with this focus, we fitting very good to the objectives of the grid. And the contact would be at our website, DITF.de, and it just added a short impression of the room, which is completely combines IoT and the connection of actors, sensors within the room. So we have a completely interactive room, which is set up to prepare or to offer this escape game event. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Heiko. Really interesting. And I will go through the next one, which is Marco Simic from LESIM, Laboratory for Handling, Assembly and Pneumatics.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Hello. Yes, we can.
Okay.
While you share your screen, I just would like to remember that the question and answer session is open, so you can just submit your questions using the question and answer tool of the Zoom platform, and we will go through them during the question and answer session. Go on, Marco.
Okay, thank you very much. Hello to everybody. Thank you, the organizers, to let me introduce my laboratory LASIM, which is Laboratory for Handling, Assembly and Pneumatics, originally named, but we are actually very different areas covered by time right now. I'm speaking on behalf of our head of laboratory, Niko Herakovic, and we are actually a public institution, a higher education institution, which is our primary goal. Our primary core is education of students, and of course, beside that, research and development, supporting the industry, and making some projects related to the EU or industry projects, national and international. We are actually academic laboratory. I can say that we actually 3 years ago built together in cooperation with our company Collector, which is a great company in Slovenia. We built a demonstration center of a smart factory, which is our main infrastructure to perform this research and development and to also show the newest technologies related to the Industry 4.0, as well to industry and to students to provide future engineers. We are located in Slovenia, in Ljubljana, which is the capital, very similar to our previous colleagues, Faculty of Electrical Engineering, but we are a Faculty of Mechanical Engineering, exactly Department for Manufacturing Systems and Processes. Basically, we are dealing with different kind of processes and systems within the manufacturing process. And the main thing is that digitalization and the AI-based smart modeling, simulation, and optimization of those processes are actually the core of all these other processes, which is the logistics, handling, assembly, robotics, machine. And we are not actually the developer of robots. We are the educator how to use those robots in the production systems efficiently. That is our main business. Our vision and mission is actually to become some kind of demo lab laboratory, demonstration laboratory covering AI-based advanced manufacturing processes and systems, of course, including all the logistics, internal and external logistics. And we are very focused on digital twin technology. So the manufacturing process is supported with digital twin technology. Here, I can say we are very proud that we, let's say, develop and from the scratch or to design the new factory of Yaskawa Europe Robotics, which is located in Kočevje. And this factory is actually designed related to the smart factory. So we provide and developed digital twin in advanced to define what type, how to build this factory, the layouts, and all the machines, all the internal and external logistics. Of course, our mission is also to help SMEs transferring their technologies and business strategy towards factories of the futures, or to provide trainings, workshops, webinars for them. So those technologies which are related to our laboratory, which is a digitalization, design of smart factories, real-time optimization, edge computing, smart modeling, simulation, also in terms of product management, how to design and develop proper products ready for the handling and assembly. Those technologies can be tested and in our facility, in our lab, and then can be transferred directly to the real applications and to solve the challenges that SMEs really have in real environment. And of course, to upgrade their processes and systems on the higher level by integrating the HMI and digital twin approach, or to increase the competencies to upgrade the skills of the workforce of these SMEs. Our services are mainly focused on education. As I mentioned, we have Faculty of Mechanical Engineering. We educate students, future engineers related to advanced manufacturing. We provide online trainings, especially in these times, also for students and for other external partners, for SMEs, and on-site trainings in our facility, in our labs. We provide approximately 5 to 6, let's say, SMEs per year. We are working on that. And let's say we have approximately 300,000 euros per year external budget of these SMEs. That's why we also last year established a new digital innovation hubs, which is a digital twin of logistics systems and manufacturing processes and systems. And as I said, based on our expertise in our areas that we cover, we are mainly focused on in-depth lab and control lab. So the digital twins, the input data, data analysis, smart data providing to the digital twins and so on. And we also have some collaborative robots integrated into the production lines. And as we all know, in assembly and handling systems, we can use augmented reality or virtual reality. Our customers are mainly the industry. So we are very focused on industry. We have more than 50 partners from the industry working through these last 10 years. We are working also with other members of universities, so education and institutes. And we also provide some help and consulting to clusters. Especially we can, as I mentioned, Yaskava Europe Robotics are our main partners, as well as Collector Group, which are one of the most successful company in Slovenia. Our expectations are actually collaboration with other partners in groups and also knowing some other SMEs, some new challenges that can be solved, to transfer our knowledge to the other partners and to also gather some other knowledge and bring it to us, so the exchange. And we can also provide some workshops, some webinars in our demo lab infrastructure, so we can invite others to join our lab to perform these workshops and to also use our infrastructure and equipment, providing the trainings and research and development activities. Okay, thank you very much. In very
thank you, Marco. Thank you very much. And at this point of the agenda, I just put an intermediate question and answer sessions. I was of the idea to skip it, but I saw that the only question in the chat is for the Campione Field Lab from Paul van Kempen. And I know that Paul will leave us shortly. So maybe we can just ask him to answer this single question and then go on with the next presentation.
Right.
First, Paul van Kempen is there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
perfect.
okay, thank you, Domenico. And I also realized that I forgot to show a very important sheet, which is maybe the impression of the field lab.
Okay.
Do it quickly if you see. You cannot. Oh, someone is still sharing. Is that correct?
Yes, because I think that Matteo is sharing. Sorry, Matteo.
Sorry, I just.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Can I ask you to stop sharing? Thank you.
All right.
Sorry, just a moment.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I can't. Okay. Okay, sorry.
Okay. So the question is about the ability of. Sorry, I just skipped the chat. So the question is about sorry, I will read it so that if the chat just stops skipping screen.
So, yeah, I thought it was a question about, because I saw it indeed later on, if Campione is only focused on the process industry.
Yes,
yeah,
perfect, yes.
And I don't know if you see these pictures now or...
Yes.
Yeah, so here's an impression of that field lab. So we built our own small process plant, I would say. So indeed, the initial focus was really on the process industry, but that varies from Tata Steel to a chemical company like Dow Chemical, for example. But we have also some innovations coming out of this field lab, for example, in the agricultural area, precision farming. And so we try to support industry as broad as possible. And we have a separate program called Campione 2, which is focusing on SMEs, because the initial project with the chemical plants that are rather big ones. And as you can see here, we organize quite some events also to disseminate to other types of industries. And what might also be interesting is that we have a separate, what is called mixed reality lab. So there's VR, AR, and mixed reality at the University of Tilburg, which is also part of the Campione infrastructure. So yes, the initial focus was on the process industry, but meanwhile we are trying to support more sectors with this infrastructure.
Okay, so perfect. Thank you very much for answering this question. And as I said, I know that you will be leaving in a while, so I just wanted to give you the floor for a minute. So I would go on with the next presentations, and then we can collect all the questions and go through them in the final question and answer session. So thank you, Matteo. Sorry for sharing and skipping again.
Don't worry. Thank you for the time for the presentation. My name is Matteo Sartini. I'm the technical director of Liam Lab. Liam Lab is a private R&D laboratory focused on industrial automation, in particular on automatic machine. Our main stakeholder are two companies, Sitma and Crete. Sitma is a packaging manufacturing on the field of logistics and e-commerce. Crete is a company that work on the field of scouting and technology broker. We are located in Bologna, in the Emilia-Romagna state, and we are inside the high technology network of Emilia-Romagna. Our vision and mission is to can help the manufacturing company to insert the new digital technology in the different process. So we are working also to integrate AI technology in all the process of the company. Our main activity and service are linked to industrial automation, like software developed for automatic machine, benchmarking on PLC and motion control architecture, develop a new algorithm for predictive maintenance, apply IE technology and IoT in infrastructure, and technology to simulate the process with digital twin architecture. And usually with a different company, we have also some technology transfer with some training for the different people. Just to have some idea about our customer, we work with a large company. Our activity usually are the 30% for internal R&D for the new project, and the other time is split for the training for the component and the service for the component. We have a strong connection with the SME component, with develop the different project. Just some example, some applications that we develop with this company. In this case, is an application with a SME component. They need a technology to can test the software before the mechanical machine was ready. So we talk about digital twin system. And with this technology, the company can save time to develop the new software architecture for the new machine. We worked also with a digital twin to support also the company in a complex design of plant, like logistic application of e-commerce and parcel management. And in this case, with the digital twin, we can also test some advanced logic based on AI to optimize, for example, the different people they need to manage the parcel, or also the different speed of a different conveyor. Another field where is one of our main competence, and we work especially with the SME component, is about predictive maintenance technology. In this case, in this case study, with this company, they asked to help in develop a new algorithm and a complete architecture for predictive maintenance for the machine. In this case, we develop a new algorithm that extract a new kind of feature and analyze with the AI algorithm. We found not only fault detection, but also fault isolation for the different fault in the machine. So these are some example of our background and a typical project that we bring on with the different company. As Liam, we are very happy to can join the ANCMI grid, and we hope to have a new interaction, to have a new experience, and also leverage the network competence to can support together better the different company. We hope also to can work with other lab, with company outside Italy, to can look to new kind of application and so new experience. Liam can bring his competence in the past project worked with the different company. So this is our main expectation. I just try to go fast to can save times that we are just in later respect the agenda.
Thank you.
If
Thank you very much,
question,
Matteo.
don't hesitate to contact me.
No, it was all clear. Thank you, and very good presentation.
I hope that no one is sleeping.
Okay. Yes.
Well, I hope that too. Well, just in case, to be sure they are awake, they can always provide questions. So it is a good way to tell us they're still awake. And well, the next one will be Massimo Goletti from MUSP.
Hey, I'm here. I cannot start the video because the host stopped me. Zoom says.
Oh, yes. Maybe you can go. I am the host, so I try to authorize you.
Okay. Okay. Can you see the presentation?
Yes. Yes, we can.
Okay, because I have two screens and I'm not sure what.
No, it's perfect.
Which one I shared. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the time. And I'm Massimo Goletti. I'm the managing director of MUSP Laboratory. MUSP is a private consortium of 7 companies that are reported here, but it has a second soul with an academic and so a scientific coordination that is provided by 2 universities, Politecnico di Milano and Università Cattolica. Is a consortium that was born inside the High Technology Network of Emilia-Romagna in 2005. We are located in Piacenza. In Piacenza, and basically, as I was saying, we have 2 approaches to R&D projects. We basically develop develop research, let me say, project that are closer to the university with public funding, because usually it is needed a risk capital, let me say. But the majority of our activities or our project are with respect to companies. So we are directly funded with by companies, basically manufacturing companies, and but the projects are much more closer to the market, so are much more industrial research projects, and we support the companies in this way. So what does mean innovating for MUSP? For MUSP is the mission is to increase the competitiveness of all our stakeholders, our partners, our associates, but also external companies. The approach is mainly scientific approach that is guided by the collaboration for the technical aspects from the universities, and we are strongly focused in developing adaptive solution. So a solution that in which a smart solution, let me say, in which artificial intelligence is always increasing its need, always increasing its presence. And our goal for what concern industry is that you have to deliver products, so services and solutions with industrial time. What kind of services we provide? Okay, I try to focus only on the let me say process monitoring and control part of our services. We started 15 years ago developing models of manufacturing processes. Let me say we started with cutting tools, but the competencies we developed are now applied in several aspects in several other manufacturing markets. We develop, as I was saying, hardware and software solution that is an edge solution that can be applied to machine tool, so to locally virtualize a machine tool and a process. In this way, we want to increase the adaptivity of the machine to the processes. So we are introducing artificial intelligence in an edge solution that is close to the machine. Here is a quick example on the right, in which we developed a robotic solution able to extract the key performance indicators from a machine surface and to compare it with experimental trials and experimental measurements. So as you can see, it is possible to recognize the quality of a machine surface and to act on the process. So the augmented manufacturing platform that we are developing is able to take decision and to suggest or to change cutting parameter inside the machine. To complete our portfolio, we are also strong in simulation, let me FEM, CFD, but also multi-domain, so object-oriented simulation, and we have a long expertise in experimental test, measurements, validation, and activities. Sorry. Our customers are mainly located in Italy and are mainly SMEs, but we are in the last years we are collaborating with some large enterprise, both at national and international level. We have we started in the last year a very interesting collaboration with American and Canadian companies. What are the expectations that we have We are seeking, we are as you can have seen, maybe noticed in the previous slide, we want to extend our customer portfolio in the European region. So we are seeking a collaboration with the European structure to create partnership with the complementary skill to propose a large project, maybe European funded project, also as agreed to valuable customer. The added value for MUSP is so to broaden our collaboration network to the European Union. And what MUSP can bring to the grid is expertise in process analysis, modeling, and let me say the realization of control strategies and algorithm, along with this, with our augmented manufacturing platform and our virtual operator, so a digital assistant that we are developing. So we can bring an edge solution in which intelligence, a smart algorithm can be integrated and can be useful at shop floor level. Thank you for the attention.
Thank you very much, Massimo. Very interesting. We can go to the next one, which is from Luca Fabri from SMACT Competence Center.
Nice to meet you. I'm
Perfect.
trying to find the presentation, but okay.
Yes, and you will have some extra minutes just because you will be presenting. Let me introduce that. 3 laboratories accessing the AN HMI grid, being part of let me say an ecosystem, which is the competence center we will be introducing. So I will ask you to stay in 10 minutes, maybe just 11, no more, please. Thank you.
Maybe I will be faster. First of all, sorry, because I'm not using the format you proposed, but I was not able to convert. In any case, what is SMACT? SMACT is a competence center that was instituted by the Italian Ministry of Economic Development to transfer and to spread the best practice for Industry 4.0 by wide the entrepreneurial community. So in our shareholders are all the university research and public bodies, all the university in the 3 regions of Northeast, some research center and public bodies. And something like 29 industries that we divided in 2 different types. The technology providers, which are the companies that can support our customer or our network companies that will come in our in contact with us with their technologies, and our end user companies, which are some companies that just started their digital transformation and they want to demonstrate and to represent for the newcomers what means to transform the companies. Our mission is starting from the light technologies. I mean, we don't use heavy technologies, but mainly start from the field that acquire the data and through the transformation of the data in values for the industries. So we start from the technologies that you can see on the left side, and we want to go to the artificial intelligence of things. So we are a platform that want to create and share the values. And we will do this by 3 pillars. The demonstration for who want to see how to use the technologies, the training for management, operators, students, and to support the project or to transform the companies. All these things are based on a concept of a human-centered innovation. We are going to develop our physical platform, which is based on a lot of laboratories that are in all the regions. You see that each laboratory is specialized in a different brand. As an example, in Veneto, we are going to particularly specialize the laboratory about the agri-food technologies and application. In Trentino Alto Adige, which means Trento and Bolzano, we are more oriented on the manufacturing and basically machine-to-machine and human-to-machine manufacturing. While in Friuli Venezia Giulia, we are more oriented in the development of the digital twin as the concept is to develop some sort of library of models that can be transferred to the companies without developing a complete process of digital twin development. To do this, we are going to develop, to produce an infrastructure that is based on the concept that you can see here from Gartner. We start from the asset that will be available in our live demo and to use them for demonstrate the use case that will start from the idea of our, do you remember our companies, the companies that start to demonstrate that digital level and will be developed during our experience with the support of the newcomer to help them to understand and then to touch directly what they can do with the digital technologies. This can be done, I repeat, with the support of the technological provider that can give the industrial solution and with the support from the researcher for all the university of our 3 regions. That means to be able to cover a big amount of teams that we can have from the territory. As you can see, in each live demo, we have we can cover some themes about the lab from the AEI and HMI grid. As an example, in Friuli, we will have the Cobot lab, the INDAT lab, and the Control lab. That means that these are the main teams that we will go to develop in this territory. In Trentino, we can add the HMI lab, of course, dedicated to the competencies that are applied in the territory. And finally, in the Veneto region, we have, I repeat, the more concentrated teams are about agri-food and wine specialized in Verona, but because the Padova live demo is the biggest, we will be able to cover all the kind of lab that are provided by the AI and HMI grid. As an example, I can show you how we proceed to develop the ideas that we receive from our customer or our or from the subject that needs support to develop their ideas. We receive the ideas and then try to help them to document the idea by starting by project description, project budget, and business plan. Of course, it depends from the structure of who is proposed the idea, but it could be very rough. And then we organize the matchmaking between the researcher, the provider, and the funding that can help them to realize their ideas. We start with this process with the funding we receive from the Ministry for innovation project, but we are going to use also in all the process that we are going to support the industries. And I finished my presentation. Thank you very much for the attention. And
thank you very much, Luca, for your presentation. Very intense, very clear. And yes, it is a set, let me just add, it is a set of laboratories that will start operation in briefly. So it is a clear example of the kind of laboratories we are looking for if they are not already active. So they will start briefly shortly. So it is very
we should be able to start first activity within the first quarter of next year, because the laboratory are going to be developed.
Yes, perfect. Thank you very much, Luca. I will go to the next presenter, which is Jose Guna. Yes, I can see you're already sharing the screen, but we cannot hear you, Jose. We cannot hear.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, now it works. Good afternoon, Jose.
Yes.
The floor is yours.
Thank you. I cannot share the video because the host has stopped it.
Well, it's my fault, I think, but well, I will try to fix it.
But
soon.
the screen, the presentation is the main
Yes,
thing.
the screen is working, yes.
Yes, great. Thank you. So, good afternoon, everyone. I am Jože Guna, formerly from the University of Ljubljana, Faculty of Electrical Engineering, so academia. I hold the position of an assistant professor there in multimedia. Today, I would like to talk about the XR Lab under the common umbrella 360 Look Around name. Together with my laboratory, this laboratory for multimedia, and also the Technology Park of Ljubljana, about a year ago, or so a year or two ago, we created a new XR Lab, which you can see a few pictures down at the below of the screen, with the aim to promote and to explore XR technologies. And we are, I think, in a unique position of combining academia, startups, and industry to do this. So a brief description, our aim is actually to become a central institution in the region for development of especially XR, HMI, UX elements, in also cooperation with the Industry 4.0. And thus we wish to combine academia, in this case, University of Ljubljana, Faculty of Electrical Engineering, industry, small and medium enterprises, as well as startup environment, where as a gluing factor, the technology park comes into play. We have some special focus areas, mainly the area of XR technologies, so VR, AR, MR, and everything connected to that, with the focus in innovation and technology demonstration, also creating proofs of concepts. We have specific knowledge, also quite high research knowledge of user experience and interaction design within the XR domain, with also special emphasis on accessibility and VR sickness phenomena, which I think are one of the crucial research challenges at the moment within the VR field and should be addressed as such. We also provide complete solution inception, also research and development processes, and we also have specific and a lot of knowledge in also UX evaluation within the XR field, which is also crucial for adoption of industrial as well as other services within the field. The third, let's say, pillar of our aims and goals is education and also competence building. So our vision and mission is to combine and to provide collaboration of as well as academia and industry, and also professionals and startup in the field of XR, and especially combine this within the Industry 4.0 and Society 5.0 paradigms. Services that we provide, first of all, we would like to provide SMEs which maybe don't have opportunities to get in touch with the latest advances within the XR field, and also to try out these technologies, and also to stress the importance of user experience and interaction design for this kind of applications. We provide research and development services, complete turnkey solutions, and also provide access to suitable testing environment, and also the pool of experts, which are crucial. So community building is also crucial within our laboratory. We provide training off and off-site, and we are planning right now an XR Academy, so a larger, more detailed academy for the XR content. And there is special focus on HMI services. So these are our goals. Customers are various. I think we are in a unique position to be a gluing point for academy and also business and also startups, but also single professionals, enthusiasts are very, very much welcome and can provide and contribute to the community. The lab itself is a public-private based, and also I think it's important to include the local government and municipality, especially when building smart cities and ecology, let's say, aware cities, which Ljubljana is also doing. By the way, Ljubljana was the green capital of the Europe a few years ago. So I think we can combine all of this knowledge and equipment to provide such services. Our expectations and values, first of the values, one is access to the pool of experts from academia and industry, and also startups. We provide state-of-the-art research and development environment, and also the right state of mind, which is very much important. Turnkey research and development activities and solutions. We have expert knowledge of UX and interactions with special emphasis on VR sickness challenges. And also education is very important with our own, let's say, XR Academy, which we are trying to build in the next year. Expectations, first of all, we would like to share knowledge and experience with other laboratories and also collaborate and network. But foremost, we would like to, let's say, build common partnerships in order to be successful on public and industrial tenders. So we're very much interested in common projects and cooperation. We are very much also, so we cooperate with the industry. Also our lab at the faculty is one of the very much, so has a lot of industrial projects. So it's not only academia, and in this case, I think we have a good position to know both sides, as well as academia and demands there in terms of research, also the demands of the industrial competitive environments. In brief, this is all, and here are some contacts for this lab. I would also like to stress out that this laboratory is has become reality with the Cooperation Technology Park, and also the colleague Aleš Pevc is the head of the research at the Technology Park, and I am the head of research of UX and XR at the university. So I think I was within time.
Okay, thank you very much, Jose. It was really clear. And I will go through the next page. I hope Alessandro Cimatti is here with us for Bruno Kessler Foundation. But I know he was...
Yes, I'm here. I don't know if you can hear me. Yes, okay. Let me share the screen. Can you see the slides all right?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes, we can.
So I am Alessandro Cimatti from Fondazione Bruno Kessler, where I lead the Center for Digital Industry that will be will be formally active starting January 1st next year. We are positioned in Trento, and we are part of the Trentino ecosystem for research and innovation that includes SMEs, the local government, research bodies, as well as various innovation actors like Trentino Sviluppo and HIT. In particular, we are going to participate in the AI HMI lab with the Center for Digital Industry. I am going to talk about our vision and mission. Our goal is, in general, to solve problems solving your problems with science. So we are a research institution, and but we try to tackle real problems that do not have an off-the-shelf solution using our science to solve it. And the way we approach our activities is to integrate in a loop research, technology transfers, and technology transfer by way of the development of the software tools and assets. So this loop here is something that will, it's not a waterfall model in the sense that we're not just transferring our research to the field, but it's also, it is a loop in the sense that the problems detected during technology transfer activities drive the research that we will be doing in the future. We strongly believe in developing and maturing assets that are the result of investments over time, and are a distinguishing feature of our approach compared to some other academic research approaches. We provide multiple services ranging from consultancy to the advanced solution development, licensing of our tools, training and support services, and we interact with companies in various forms with research contracts, joining funding from either European, regional, and national funding sources. We have some joint labs with the companies, and we also have other models of engagement based on, for example, the idea of cascade funding on in more recent European projects. So in particular, we have a project where we'll have to award up to 2 million euros in cascade funding in terms of applications of planning technologies. A few figures for the center. The center is almost 5.5 million euros of costs. We reach a self-funding of 70% of our direct costs. So more than 3.8 millions of funding in 2021. That's the current forecast. And for our activities within AI and HMI, we envisage that we'll be going for 3 funded projects per year with a rough estimate of 200K. In terms of application domains, we have vast experience in technology transfer in sectors like railways, avionics, space, oil and gas, energy production, biomedical, manufacturing, and agri-tech. Now, these are very separate sectors, but we have interdisciplinary techniques that we develop and we research upon that cover the whole stack, the whole technological stack, ranging from IoT solutions to technologies for visions and 3D optical metrology, data science, and model-based design. So we develop solutions for XR, for data analytics, predictive maintenance, and also techniques for formal verification and certification of critical systems. Within the within AI and HMI, our expectations, of course, are that we're going to enlarge our industrial and scientific networks. We are going to improve existing solutions and services, and create new solutions and services. The added value for us will be, of course, in addition to increasing our activities in line with the center missions, to have more direct contacts with actors defining the market needs and identify new technology transfer opportunities. What we bring to the grid is research excellence, a large portfolio of vertical solutions, and a vast experience in technology transfer and projects. And yeah, I look forward to collaborating with everybody here.
Thank you very much. Very interesting presentation, and we'll go through the last one, which is from Jaren Linsen, Ambient Intelligence Lab.
Let me see if I can stop here. Okay.
Yes, good morning, everybody. Thanks for having me today.
Good morning.
Let me just share my screen. There, that should be visible to everybody.
Yes, it is.
Perfect. So good morning again. My name is Dr. Jeroen Linsen. I'm an associate professor in applied data science at the Saxion University of Applied Sciences. So let me just briefly go over our interest and added value to your consortium. So first off, we call it the Ambient Intelligence Lab, but basically it's a kind of joiner of free academic labs linked to our research group, which is called Ambient Intelligence. And these mostly are related to three things: Internet of Things, data science, and mixed reality. And all of this is hosted at the Saxion University of Applied Sciences, which you can find in the Netherlands, very much in the east of the very, very east of the Netherlands, in Enschede. And we also have locations in Deventer and Apeldoorn. And we are kind of a University of Applied Sciences, so different than like fundamental and academic research. We apply things to use cases of SMEs mostly, so industry-related stuff. And our vision and mission is as follows. So our mission is to actually bridge the gap between current academic research, so state-of-the-art innovative technologies that are being developed, but trying to bridge that gap between that research and industrial practice on the three research pillars that we have. And I mentioned them already kind of. So Internet of Things is kind of covered by our research pillar, Connected Embedded Systems. So what kind of sensors and sensor solutions can we use to actually acquire data? How can we make sense of the data by processing it in the applied data science line, so using AI-related things like machine learning? And then with this information, how can we give feedback to end users of such software solutions in our augmented interaction line? And with each of these research lines, a specific lab is actually coupled to it. So our overarching vision is very much enabling IT for a smart world, so to make the invisible visible and to embed intelligence into our environments. And how, what does that look like in practice? We do a lot of applied research, so indeed more applied than the fundamental research of academic universities. So a lot of consultation, but also education, dissemination of knowledge for SMEs, but also for our study programs. We are kind of domain agnostic, but we mostly focus still on research projects related to smart industry and also to healthcare. So two very basic examples to the right, one on predictive maintenance in collaboration with Scania. And we also mostly work on healthcare monitoring, so trying to, for example, monitor when somebody or to what extent somebody is recuperating from some injuries using sensor solutions and making sense of that data using machine learning. As I already said, we have 3 labs, so the IoT lab, a data lab, and the XR lab. The IoT lab is still under expansion, so still being worked on. In our data lab, we have lots of computing power that we try to roll out. And our XR lab is kind of the biggest one as of yet. It's been around for a bit more than a year right now. It's about 400 square meters and lots of VR devices available there for students and also companies to take a look at. As far as personnel facilities, we have 25 researchers in our group, of which about 10 have a PhD. And in total, we let about 150 students a year work in our labs to solve lots of practical use cases and also do some explorative research. As for our customers, we focus mostly on regional SMEs and also public institutes like hospitals, but also firefighting institutes, for example. And we usually do complementary collaboration with academic universities and also research institutes to further their research. And currently we're collaborating with more than 20 SMEs, 5 public institutes. I have about 25 research projects currently running, varying from indeed healthcare to smart industry. We also have a nice consortium consisting of 10 industrial partners who actively contribute to T-Valley, which is a consortium which also researches lots of issues and challenges in smart industry. And we are connected to more than 10 study programs, mostly in the software and technical domain. As for expectations, I think there are a lot of possibilities for complementary collaboration. So, for example, exchanging best practices between collaborating with SMEs, but also on a research level. So we're definitely also looking for joint research and research proposals. I think there are lots of opportunities there as well. So we should definitely exchange those possibilities, in my opinion. As for the envisioned value we have for this whole endeavor, I think we can definitely contribute towards a larger outreach of our scientific results, so mostly applied science, but also alignment with international agendas to further actual Industry 4.0, especially for the SMEs, where it's a bit trickier than for the larger companies, in my opinion. So that's definitely also our added value. I think we have lots of best practices on collaboration with SMEs and lots of expertise on specifically IoT and machine learning for smart industry. So yeah, just to summarize it in short, we do lots of applied research on IoT data science and mixed reality, so virtual reality and augmented reality. And our mission is very much to enable IT for a smart world. So thanks for your attention.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for your presentation, and well, very good flow of pitches from our labs, and really interesting ecosystem which is being set up by the participation of several different entities and different bringing in different capacities, different know-how, different background, and all their activities with them. So thank you again, everyone. And it's time for the question and answer session. I can see there is a question in the open question tool, and I would invite all the speakers to take the floor and try to answer. And just remind that there is not a correct answer or a wrong answer. We are a very heterogeneous group, so all the opinions are welcome in this stage. And well, I will just go through the question and then ask some of you speakers to answer as you all give your opinion about. So the question is about is not related to a particular lab, it says, and the person asking would like to know if the interest of the labs is to offer their capabilities outside the regions, and so in their own interest, or or if they do this in the interest of the SMEs they actually serve. So in a sense, if I well understood it, it's just to enlarge your service portfolio and enlarge your customer portfolio, or just want to bring also you hope to bring better support for your actually served SMEs through cooperation with other labs. So I don't know who wants to take the floor, otherwise I would point the finger. It's not not good.
Well, I can express our position if you want.
Thank you.
On the side of Fondazione Bruno Kessler, we are completely open to cooperations both locally, nationally, and internationally. In fact, we often have customers who are not local, say within Europe or even in the States. And when we are able to find, say, more local customers and collaborations is definitely a great value for us, because we want to have an impact on the local territory, being partly funded by the local government. In general, I think that, I mean, as a general rule, I think the trying to reach as far as possible is a good point. The only thing that may be of concern is if you have competing customers. Well, in that case, you have, of course, to be careful. But aside from that, we are completely open.
Good point. Thank you for your answer. It's a good starting point for a good discussion. So maybe the last speaker, General Linsen, wants to...
Yeah, thanks. I agree with Alessandro's points indeed. Also, from our point of view, we are very much an scientific lab basically. So it's mostly on knowledge dissemination indeed, and also technology transfer. So we don't necessarily have like what do you call it, interest in selling things or anything of the matter, but just spreading knowledge. So definitely we're interested in contacting partners or interested parties outside of our region for sure. So I think that's more of our interest for sure.
Yes, as I said, it's a really heterogeneous group, so different point of views on providing services on SMEs, both as simply customers or as elements for technology transfer. It's a good point of view. I don't know if are there questions in the chat, or if someone from the attendees wants to raise his hand.
I can add a comment about the point of view of the company about the question. For example, we are some contact with some companies that don't have the possibility to search and ask for a European partner. So they don't have the possibility. So sometimes they ask the international point of view of some technology. So there are also some, I talk about Italian SME company that are interested to take knowledge also outside Italy. So I think that it's not only to enlarge our portfolio, but there are also some Italian company, usually SME companies, are interested about this. I only just added this comment.
Okay, thank you, Matteo. Yes, good point. This one too. Of course, companies, SMEs in particular, are always interested in get in contact with on the edge innovation laboratories. So, but they bring their own specific needs sometimes, and it's not sure that a single laboratory can be able to provide the best one services, just not operating on its own. So it's a good point too. And some other
Domenico, do you allow me to ask questions to panelists?
Sure.
Well, I have really two questions. The first question is if there are some strategies or some specific means to reach a small and medium enterprise. This is a key focus point for our grid, and of course there are different strategies depending on lab characteristics, lab origin, lab role inside the region, and so on and so forth. But maybe if we have some comments on the strategy that are used to reach small companies and also to convince them to use AI technologies, as this may be the main obstacle, the main hurdle to exploit AI technologies inside small companies. So I am very much interested also for the future of the AI and HMI partnership grid to have some hints, to have some comments on specific strategies that are used. Don't take strategy as a very complex, but just some best practice they use for reaching SMEs. Thanks.
So again, please just unmute yourself and take the floor.
Sure. So maybe I can comment on that. I think, in our opinion, lots of people are very much interested in like a data-driven approach to their challenges and issues, and AI is definitely a part of that. I think two things in our experience are very important there, and the first thing is definitely some expectation management about what is actually possible and usable in the realm of AI, and definitely also what is needed to make that happen at a first start. And I think actually the way we see it is that before you have to, or you actually can focus on things like machine learning, you definitely need to have data available. So definitely a first step then would be to acquire such data in some way or the other. And for some companies, it's partially already available, and some companies, other companies still have to focus way more on actually acquiring the data using some kind of sensors. So bringing that actually, or translating that back to their specific business case, it often revolves around trying to figure out how to acquire data for them. So what kind of solution is necessary at first before they can continue with something related to AI. And I think that's one of the main things there. So that's one thing. And the second thing is what we found very beneficial is actually a thing we organized beginning of this year, a few training sessions on AI in practice. So what is actually then required for that? So very much the knowledge dissemination about expectation management in any case, but also some practical examples of how it did work and definitely also how it didn't work. Because in my opinion, that also illuminates a lot of challenges that you will experience when doing something with AI. For example, when you're gathering data and you're pre-processing data, that takes lots and lots of effort, way more than the actual modeling part, for example. So it's very much on just understanding what actually is AI to a certain degree, obviously.
Yes, thank you very much. Maybe there are some other examples. For example, I don't remember which laboratories, but I have seen that some of you exposed 45 cooperations with SMEs. And there is some other hints of having possibly a catalog of, let me say, best practices or situations where AI has been applied successful. So this is also something that may be of interest. How do you think that existing best practices or already good experiences can be exchanged between the grid, inside the grid? Because in my opinion, examples are very strong support for entering in this field. So maybe some of you has the possibility to exchange very short summaries of what experiences have been already performed in the grid. So this is, do you agree that this is a practice that we could support in the next months for exploiting the grid? Your comments on this point is very much welcome.
Well, should I ask? Maybe I know that, for example, Massimo from MUSP has some an interesting point of view on this point. So maybe I can invite you to express yourself, or Matteo. I saw you were switching on the microphone.
No, yes, just only to say that I think is a good strategy, because usually the SME company needed to understand if this technology can apply today in a short time, because they need to demonstrate to the owner of the company that the investment is feasible and they have a return of investment. Because usually with the SME, this is the main problem. They cannot invest in a long-term project if at the beginning they are not sure that the technology solve and fix the problem. So of sure, some example, and think about a project with some short step where you generate some result is important. It's not always so easy in this kind of project to can split something and generate a result in a short time. So it's not easy, but the example and demonstration of sure help. This is our experience.
Yes, I agree with Matteo. Is also our experience, and the smaller is the company, the harder used to be attractive. Wait for the video. Yes. Okay. Sorry. Yes, with very small companies, it is very difficult to convince them to participate in project. One of the let me say one of the possibility is to convince them to participate in public calls at national, maybe also regional or international level. I was thinking about the old SME instrument. Some company had to say the capacity to the ability to win a funding on that project, and so you can speak with them and build something that otherwise they were not found in other ways. So maybe this can be a strategy to monitor regional, national, European calls, to propose to companies a way to co-found the new technology they want to, or we want to them to introduce in their shop floor or in their organization.
Yes, this is really involve partners in projects, maybe with a minor role at the beginning, maybe something that can support the distribution of the diffusion of AI concept. Some other concept, some other contributions. You have so many experiences all around. I was really impressed by the numbers that I've seen. And this may be the next round we will have between us, between our our labs belonging to the grid. I think the next pitching event will be more, let's say, professionally focused on a specific area. So we could also have some more, let me say, triggered discussion just to avoid the general things. We have spoken of general things today, but maybe we could also enter into many different aspects according to our perimeter. So we could also join and make a more concentrated, a more also professionalized discussion. This, Domenico, may be a suggestion for the next. I don't know if there are some other suggestions for the next opportunity to meet. I would like very much to hear from the floor suggestions to make this event, which is the first and will be, of course, not the last, especially for the new year coming. I would like very much to understand what is the expectation in terms of not physical, maybe virtual cooperation and virtual exchange of opinions for the better of this grid. So this is my wish, of course, but maybe some reaction may be kept, maybe taken up just today, even if we will perform a further communication strategy for enriching the discussion. Anyway, some comments.
Yeah, I would like to say something. This is Alessandro. My video is blocked by the organizer for, but okay. Okay. So I think that there are the incentive of funding or co-funding is very strong for SMEs in many cases, and there are multiple ways of multiple instruments for funding that are being that are becoming available. So one of the examples that I would like to bring up is this idea of a cascade funding, where in EU-funded projects, a part of the funds is dedicated to external SMEs to actually experiment with the technology that is being developed in the project. So in some sense, the EU is going to pay for the experiments, and that I think is a very interesting model. Another instrument is the scheme of the European Innovation Council, where there are either accelerators or fast track to innovation projects that are dedicated to developing ideas that will reach the market with a short turnaround, increasing the TRL. So I think that it would be important, maybe as a part of our next meetings, to have a session where we make sure that these instruments are known, because maybe this is not the case. They're not. There is not such an awareness on the availability of such funding schemes, and it could be of interest.
Yes, of course, it's something.
Yes, I was taking note. I was taking note. Well, Domenico, I think we had almost 3 hours of
almost 3 hours. I think
conference.
It's time to free our speakers too. So I understand they have other meetings, other things. So it is a very good and interesting discussion. And it's as you said, it's just the first one. We will organize other meetings, also internal meetings for the grid, in order to have such kind of discussion, because as being in the advanced setup of the AI and HMI grid, all the contributions from participating labs are more than welcome. So are needed, I should say. So we will organize other meetings. We will also organize, indeed, as you anticipated, other public meetings, because we think the dissemination task is starting to be important for this grid. And just because we know, and it's something I wanted to say before, I just forgot, but we know that we are not alone in the European ecosystem in terms of innovation, and there is a lot of initiatives, but we have to focus on our forces, let me say, on our strengths. So the initiative wants to be different from all the other initiatives that are going on, and wants to focus on providing services and concrete help to SMEs in the implementation of AI innovation. So we need to strongly be in contact with all the other initiatives, but different. This is our point in this this etap of the grid.
Domenico, remember that our motto is last mile to SMEs. Last miles where a lot of efforts are lost because there are, let me say, difficulties. So this is a tough job, and I hope that this small meeting has been the first of a very fruitful cooperation in the next year. Personally, I want to thank all the attendees, the survival attendees, and surviving, sorry, and the panelists, because this is an experience we are doing together. So we will learn what has been interesting today, what will be improved. Domenico, thank you very much.
I would like to involve Mika too in the yes.
Mika is
in the closure.
I see Mika name, but I'm not sure. Oh yes, he is.
Yes, hello. Yeah, I'm still here, of course. Yes, I don't know if we have another part to talk about this leaflet, or otherwise we can conclude with this.
Yes, you're right. I will just introduce briefly, and I won't show the draft just because it's a real draft. We are, as a dissemination task for the AI and HMI grid, we are introducing we are preparing a digital leaflet to present all the laboratories and the world grid. So it is a useful tool, I think, to spread information about the AI and HMI grid, to collect the interest from applicant labs, and to also prepare the ground to reach to customers. So we are preparing a leaflet. All the laboratories are asked to provide information. We are working on some drafts, and we will circulate it as soon as this becomes a concrete version of the leaflet. Of course, I kindly invite all the speakers to check. They provided us the information required. Otherwise, the soon they come, the soon the information comes, the soon it will be introduced in the leaflet that will be circulated at latest in January 2021. So this is a task I am asking cooperation for a while, and many of you already provided information, and thank you very much for this. So I think we can close. Again, I would like to thank all the speakers. I would like to thank Mika from our co-leading region, Slovenia. I would like to thank our colleagues intervening. So thank you very much, and let's meet in another meeting, or a public one, or a restricted one. So thank you again. Bye.
Yes, thank you all for participating. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Have a good day. Bye bye.